Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand and join us for the singing of our national anthem, and then please remain standing for an honor song by Thunder Jack, who is Bear Clan from the Oneida Nation.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command, que ton bras se beau d'élever, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants espoirs. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard
Thank you, Thunder Jack. Please take your seats. On behalf of George Brown College, I would like to welcome you all, graduates, family, and friends, to this morning's convocation exercises for the class of 2014. My name is Georgia Quirtaro. I'm Dean of the Center for Preparatory and Liberal Studies, and it is my pleasure to serve as your Master of Ceremonies this morning. Graduates, we have gathered today to recognize your academic achievements. You have worked hard to get here, and I extend my warm congratulations to you all on this special day. Our convocation ceremony today is taking place on the traditional lands of the Mississauga of New Credit. I would like to begin by introducing the members of our platform party. I ask them to stand and remain standing as they are introduced, and I'd like to ask you to please hold your applause until the end of the introductions. It is my pleasure to introduce Sally Horsfall Eaton, the first Chancellor of George Brown College. From George Brown College, Ann Sado, President, Eugene Harrigan, Vice President, Corporate Services, Karen Thompson, Vice President, Marketing and Strategic Enrollment Management, Diane Tessier, Registrar, Luigi Ferrara, Dean, Center for Arts and Design. Bearing the mace this morning is Beadle Ann Sardo, Manager in the Center for Arts and Design. From the George Brown College Student Association, Hallie Requena Silva, Director of Education and Equity. Our Elder in Residence, Ed Sackney, and our keynote speaker for this morning, Richard Rose, who will be more formally introduced later in the program. And finally, the staff and faculty of the Center for Arts and Design at George Brown College. Ladies and gentlemen, your platform party. Thank you. Please take your seats. This morning, we are recognizing graduates from the School of Design, the School of Fashion Studies, and the School of Performing Arts in the Center for Arts and Design. Our interpreters this morning are Monique Ledrew and Tara Everett, and our captioner is Joanne Anderson. I now invite Chancellor Sally Horsfall Eaton to address the graduating class. Madam Chancellor.
Well, good morning and welcome to the 2014 graduation ceremonies. You may have noticed walking in today that the dignitaries were preceded by a beetle carrying a big stick. Well, that big stick is the new George Brown mace, and the mace is the symbolic emblem of the authority delegated to the chancellor. It dates back to medieval times, the 13th century, when the mace was carried into battle to break the chainmail and the armor of the knights. Not very useful for 2014, but we've got one. The mace, the royal mace, is carried before the king as a sign of domestic security and authority, and is now used in parliaments. It'll be used for official ceremonies for George Brown, and like the Convocation and other ones that from time to time occur. So this is your big day. Congratulations, you finally made it. That's just wonderful. Clap for yourselves. I'm sure you're all wondering where the road will take you. And by the way, I think your parents are wondering as well. I can't tell you that. And where you are 5 years from now may well be different than where you think you're going to be 5 years from now. But I can offer a few words of advice for success at work and for a good life. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts, than money, than circumstances, than what people might say or do. We can't change the inevitable. Bad things do happen. But we can play the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I firmly believe that life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% how I deal with it. And so it is with you. We're in charge of our attitudes and in turn in charge of our lives. We determine our own happiness and our own futures. So be irrepressibly positive person. The person who's fun to be around, welcome most everywhere, rather than the doom and gloom pessimist who's shunned in the classroom and shunned in the office and who's never invited to happy hour. So smile and be cheerful and play nice or go home. Now, every workplace is made up of leaders and followers. It couldn't possibly function without both. Many of us aspire to be leaders, either at the workplace or the community, and many of us tremble at the thought. Some leaders are very effective, and some are misplaced. Do each of you know what you are? Some people do all the things a leader does, but are either reticent to speak up or don't want to be, quotes, leading the troops. And this person fills the role of the invisible leader, leading from behind, the advisor. If that is you, such a person is diligent, studies the issues, and is thoughtful and helpful in looking for solutions. All good leaders want, and indeed need, a sounding board. You see, leadership isn't offered, it's taken, simply by the actions that you display. A potential leader is the first to step forward to do the job, the first to make thoughtful suggestions, the first to get things done. And one doesn't do this just for recognition, but simply because it's a natural inclination to be part of the action and to lead. Now, leadership entails a lot of responsibility. A good leader generally has a vision and knows where things should go. But whether you're a leader or a follower, I'm a believer that a good dose of common sense, coupled with a little naivety, can be a great benefit. Some of the greatest achievements of the world occurred because the visionary was not deterred by possible obstacles that might hamper their success. So dare to dream. Make things happen. Finally, one of my roles as chancellor is to proudly represent George Brown in the community and with my peers. And I find I do that best when I proudly brag about you, its graduates. So please be proud of who you are. Dream it, then do it, so I can brag. And may I wish you all the very best. And as you slide along the banister of life, may all the splinters be going in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chancellor. I will now call upon Dean Luigi Ferrara to address the graduating class on behalf of the Center for Arts and Design and to introduce our keynote speaker.
Madam Chancellor, Madam President, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, family and friends of graduates and graduates. It's my privilege to extend congratulations to you graduates today. I speak on behalf of your professors and the many GBC staff who supported you and who are here today to show their support at this milestone in your life. Like your family and friends who have joined you today at this ceremony, we're all very proud of what you've achieved and thrilled to have been part of your journey at George Brown College. During your time at George Brown, you've gained knowledge and skills to position you for employment in some of the key economic sectors of the Toronto region. Now it's time to capitalize on your investment in education and through determination and persistence, pursue the career you've mapped out for yourself. We hope that as you enter the workplace, you will stay connected as George Brown alumni. Today, as you follow in the footsteps of 47 years of George Brown graduates, you're joining the over 200,000 plus alumni who are making a name for themselves around the world. As you embark on your career and in the years ahead, I urge you to look for opportunities to do business with other George Brown graduates, to stay connected with the George Brown community, and to mentor future graduates as you've been mentored. Thank you. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker for the Center for Arts and Design, Richard Rose. Richard Rose is the artistic director of Tarragon Theatre, one of the world's greatest theatre companies. Prior to joining the Tarragon in 2002, Richard was founding artistic director at Necessary Angel, a position he held for 24 years. He was the associate director for Canadian Stage Company, director of the Stratford Festival Young Company, and spent 10 seasons directing at the Stratford Festival. He has directed plays across Canada, the United States, in London's West End, in styles ranging from the environmental to the classical. Richard is well known for developing new work, including 4 plays that won the Governor General's Award and 9 other nominated plays. He's a 5-time Dora Award winner for writing, direction, and production, and has had numerous nominations as well. Richard has been a dedicated volunteer and ambassador for George Brown for many years, giving his time and expertise to benefit our students in the performing arts programs in our center. Students and professors alike attest to his commitment to education and artistic development, and to the difference he has made in the lives of our students. In short, Richard is emblematic of the sorts of arts and design professional we hope our students will become. A person with a high degree of professionalism, integrity, and commitment to the community. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming this morning's keynote speaker, Richard Rose.
Madam Chancellor, Madam President, faculty and staff, and the graduating class of 2014, my gratitude for this honor of speaking with you today. Today is an ending and a launch of a new beginning for you. You are being congratulated for getting here and encouraged to keep going, to pursue your aspirations. So I thought, by way of encouragement, I would share with you 2 stories from my first years pursuing my aspirations in the theater. One is a story of failure, and the other is a story of success. Between them, they represent some of the lessons I have learned and that I hope will help you on your journey. In my 4th year of university, 4 of us from the various theater disciplines formed a collective to change the theater world. We were angry, revolutionary, ambitious, determined to be groundbreaking. Toronto theater wouldn't know what hit them. What hit them was our production of not just the first play in the history of Western drama, but the whole 6-hour trilogy, The Oresteia by Aeschylus. In hindsight, I have come to realize that the Oresteia might be the most difficult text I have ever directed. As a piece of literature, it is a fascinating document about a society changing at its very roots. A story that's got everything. A wife kills her husband and his lover. His son kills his mother, cheered on by his sister. Cataclysmic, supernatural forces of revenge, the Furies, come to wreak havoc in response. And as a play, if you've got 30 actors to create the spectacle of gods and humans and the whole world in chaos, it might be a truly spectacular tragedy. But our production, with nothing but 6 actors and good intentions, was not. What hit Toronto in our very first show was indeed a tragedy, but for all the wrong reasons. It was death by boredom. And yet, despite everything, it was the first step on a journey. So this is the first lesson I hope you will take away. Know that you do not know what you are doing, and begin anyway. Begin humbly, I would argue, and I probably should have had more humility and only done 1 play in the trilogy, but do begin. My story of failure doesn't end there. There was more to be learned. While we were boring Toronto to death, our collective was falling apart. The designer got a real job as a production manager in Edmonton. The general manager, a new father, also got a job in Oakville. And my co-director, a mature student and a professional stage manager, could no longer work for the very little we got paid on the very rare occasions that we got paid. He was also an actor. When he quit, I had to replace him in the show. His costume was a cape and a dance thong. Yes, a cape and a dance thong. It did, however, have one redeeming quality, and that was, because of that costume, no one noticed that I couldn't act. I am not an actor, and I have subsequently made an enormous contribution to the Canadian theatre by staying off the stage. So my second lesson is know your limits. But the real lesson that I learned from that experience was that it is important to know your collaborators for who they are and what they need. My collaborators were wonderful artists and administrators, and they left for very real needs. They needed paychecks. So I was the last man standing, lonely, stuck, and broke. And all I had was this obsessive impulse to make theater even without the paycheck. So, my next lesson, this one was more like an epiphany, was that art, for me, is not about making a living. It is about making a life. I would have to make sacrifices in order to make art. I would have to find a way to survive the disastrous failure of the Dull Oresteia and the collapse of my collective, and make the next project happen. Do what you need to do to keep going. I got a job in a bookstore. And I tried to be honest and analytical about my failure. I turned both inward and outward. I examined my show, my purpose. I analyzed both the bad and the good. Looking back on the production, I realized that the most valuable part of the experience had been touring to high schools. High school audiences are brilliant. They feel a show in a visceral way, and they let you know in an equally visceral way what parts thrilled them and horrified them and what parts bored them. From high school audiences, I had learned how alive the theater must be, and I let their responses guide me in understanding what had worked and what hadn't in my show, and why. Since then, as an artist, I have never stopped analyzing, looking at myself, to the work, and to the audience, making sure that I am always the harshest critic. That can be irritating, because now I only know a show is good when I see all the bones of the work, wince at my tricks, grumble at my cleverest choices, and kind of generally sort of loathe it and hate it. But at least I can see what is working, and I can see what I'm working with, and when you can see what you've got, you can begin to see how to make it better. So that's my story of failure. My very first show out of school was a disaster, and for that I am grateful. Now, for my story of success. It begins about 3 years later. 3 years on, I had some modest success with 2 shows and made almost enough money to quit the job at the bookstore. I was learning to collaborate not just with other artists on individual shows, but with other theater companies as well. My company, Necessary Angel, and 4 others were the founding members of the Theater Center. I had become my own manager, and I'd grown to understand the profound relationship between the fiscal and the creative parts of our business. I was learning that if you understand the means of production, and if you control the means of production, then you own the process of creation, and you control the work that you make. For all the burden of the business, it works hand in hand with the art. Never let a company go into a deficit. You have to have enough money to produce your next show. And 3 years on, I was at last embarking on a project that would express in aesthetic form the way I had come to see the world. I felt profoundly that the truth is made up of a multiplicity of perspectives. And so I wanted to do a play that physicalized those multiple perspectives for an audience. The play was called Tamara. It was set in an opulent Italian villa, and the actors performed multiple scenes simultaneously in different rooms of the house. Audiences chose who and where to watch, making up the play for themselves as they followed different threads of its story. I did think it was innovative, it was certainly ambitious, and I hoped it would be groundbreaking. Does that sound familiar? But this time, most importantly, it was the sum of my work for the last 3 years, of everything I'd learned up to that point, every experience I'd had, both the good and the bad, and it was the first project in which, for me, form and meaning were unified. My work in the theater was reflecting my life experience. It was also a huge financial risk. It was Necessary Angel's largest budgeted show ever, and I was ready to quit the theater and go back to law school. For all my success, I couldn't continue living hand to mouth. I had pulled out of the bookstore to spend the time needed to produce the play Tamara. 3 of us had been splitting one welfare check to pay for food. 6 months of weekly supersized bags of macaroni and a box of beer. I was done with the struggle. It was a moment of great change, and this theatrical ambition of Tamara was taking me right to the cliff edge. It would either work or we would close the company. And I will admit to you that working on the show, let alone the macaroni, was a brutal process. I was a control freak. 1 month prior to rehearsals, we had some grant money. We had minimal support from the Toronto International Theatre Festival, but we were short $10,000. And worse, we couldn't find a house to perform in. My closest collaborators, the playwright and the designer, wanted to give up, and they were right. But I would not relent. I was a monster of determination. At the end of a week, we'd found a house that the City of Toronto had given us for free. At the end of 2 weeks, I'd borrowed $10,000 from my dad. Imagine that phone call. And at the end of 3 weeks, we were rehearsing. And at the end of 4 weeks, we opened as a fringe event at the 1981 Toronto International Theatre Festival. At this time, we did turn Toronto theatre on its head. We were the hit of the festival. We were adored by the critics, not only from Toronto, but from around the world. The London Times, the Wall Street Journal. Most amazing of all, I was able to pay my father back. 3 years after that, in Los Angeles, we opened for what was to become a 10-year run. And in 1987, we opened in New York for a 3-year run. And the play has since traveled the world. That great success gave us all a future upon which we survived and built our careers. As you set out to pursue your ambitions today, there are some things you could take with you from these stories, one of success and one of failure. First, just get started, even though you may not really know what you're doing quite yet. Recognize your limits, know your collaborators, both what they can offer and what they need. Do what you need to do to keep going. Make sacrifices for the things you believe in. Keep enough money in the bank to produce your next show. Use what you learn. Make work that speaks about life as you know it. Risk everything. Thank everyone for the risk that they take on your behalf, especially your parents. Thanks again, Dad. Through it all, remember that both success and failure will be part of your artistic lives, no matter what shape they take. Admit to your failures. Examine them mercilessly. Be your own toughest critic and treat your successes in exactly the same way. When you are successful, you must acknowledge your accolades, but then you must forget them. The self-examination, the analysis, the self-criticism are essential because it isn't your current show that is important, but your next one. If you want to continue to be successful, don't rest on your laurels. Don't repeat yourself. Never let a critic box you in with a label. Never let your thinking or your creativity get overwhelmed by what you did last. As difficult as failure is, it is only a rung in the ladder. And as rewarding as success is, it is only the next rung. An artist must see the failures in every success because no creative act is the same as the last one. It will take determination. And what I hope you will hold on to most of all is a sense of why you are so determined. I am not sure whether my determination was wise, nor that I always conducted myself in the best way I could have done to achieve my successes. But I will say that I acted out of passion that has defined my life, a passion for art. And what is art? It is inquiring, learning about life, and then evoking the beauty you have found in an image, in the tailoring of a suit, in the articulation of an arabesque. Art is about how you see the world and how you will give that vision to whomever your audience may be. It is your gift to many. It is precious. So my wish for you today, at the end of one part of your lives and the beginning of your next great journey, is not that your art will make you a good living, though I do wish, and I'm sure your parents do too, that you will have everything that you need. My wish is that your art will make for you and for others a good life. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the part of today's ceremony in which we recognize outstanding scholastic achievement by our graduates. To begin, we would like to recognize the recipient of the Governor General's Academic Medal. This medal was first awarded in 1873 by the Earl of Dufferin, and the Governor General's Academic Medal is one of the most prestigious awards that can be received by a student in a Canadian educational institution for exceptional academic achievement. The Collegiate Bronze Medal from the Governor General of Canada is awarded to a student in a 2- or 3-year program with the highest cumulative grade point average. This year, the recipient of the Governor General's Academic Medal is Quinn Kauhu, who is graduating from the Office Administration Medical Program in the School of Health Services Management in the Center for Health Sciences. Quinn received this award at her convocation ceremony yesterday on June 10th. And I'm going to ask you to join me in a round of applause to acknowledge her achievement. Thank you. We would now like to recognize the recipient of the Board of Governors Medal. The Board of Governors Medal was established in 2007 when the first degree programs graduated from George Brown College. The medal is awarded to a full-time student in a degree program of at least 4 years' duration and is awarded for academic excellence to the student with the highest cumulative grade point average. This year, the recipient of the Board of Governors Medal is Larry Lamb, who will be graduating from the Bachelor of Applied Business Financial Services program in the School of Accounting and Finance in the Center for Business this afternoon. Again, I'm going to ask you to join me in recognizing Larry's achievement. This morning, we are proud to honor graduates from the Center for Arts and Design with the Dean's Award to recognize both their high academic achievement over all semesters within the center and their contributions to the college community. So I'd like to ask Dean Luigi Ferrara to come forward to present the awards from the Center for Arts and Design. Luigi? The first recipient of a Dean's Award for the Center for Arts and Design is Eric Edwin Fresh. Eric is a graduate of the Game Development Program in the School of Arts and Design. Eric, would you please come forward to accept your award? Okay. We will get that to him. The next recipient of a Dean's Award for the Center of Arts and Design is Joanna Eisen. Joanna is a graduate of the Dance Performance Studies program in the School of Performing Arts. Joanna, would you please come forward to accept your award? Congratulations. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian for this morning, André Chenier, who is graduating from the Jewelry Arts program from the School of Fashion Studies. André, will you please address the graduating class of 2014?
Madam Chancellor, Madam President, members of the Platform Party, fellow graduates, George Brown faculty and staff, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We graduates probably all remember our first day at George Brown College. I know I do. I walked into my first jewelry arts class and found a seat in the corner. I sat there quietly wondering, what am I doing here? And thinking that perhaps I should have kept my job and still be sitting in my office cubicle repressing my creative drive. I looked around, and all the other students seemed young, lively, and chomping at the bit. And there I was, second-guessing my decision to go back to school. So I did what I always do when trying to ignore my current situation. I pulled out a novel, and I buried my nose in it. Class was just about to start when in walked an energetic woman who was obviously rushing not to be late. She took the seat beside me. I peeked out over my book and was relieved to see that she was also a mature student. She placed her bag down, turned to me, and excitedly said, "I left my home and my husband back in Saskatchewan just to come here and do this." A wave of relief washed over me, and I replied, "I left my home and my husband back in Ottawa just to come here and do this." We both burst out laughing. I knew then that it was going to be an interesting 3 years. Perhaps you were the quiet one, unsure if you belonged in the class at all. Or maybe you were an energetic participant from the first day, striking up conversations wherever you went. I had to move 5 hours away to attend George Brown College, but some of you have had to travel much farther distances, changing countries or even continents. This brings on a whole new set of personal challenges that I didn't have to deal with, like adjusting to a new culture and dealing with language barriers. There is a reason people will uproot themselves from so far to attend George Brown College. Our school has programs unlike any others, not to mention the outstanding teachers. Our teachers are engaged in their fields, and they transfer the passion they have to their students. Many of us here today are strong visual and tactile learners, and care is taken to cater our education according to these strengths. When learning a new task, one student will benefit from watching a video on it, while another student will acquire more information by actively doing it. The school provides us with different learning opportunities, and it's just one of the things that makes it so special. Being a student is humbling, but you also have an impact on other people. The dynamic between teacher and student is a cooperative one. What we may not always realize is that our teachers also learn from us. Perhaps during our time here, we've had the chance to show them a new solution to a problem, introduce them to a new software app or a new dance move. We also got to test their patience. Whatever our contribution, we hope our teachers have also gained something from having us in their classrooms. We're all here because, with the support of our family, friends, and teachers, we chose to go down a specific path. Without them, we wouldn't have developed into the individuals we are today. They wanted to cultivate in us the curiosity to continue learning, and they have invested in us and watched us evolve. To our family, friends, and teachers, I say thank you for letting us be curious. The famous designer, producer, and entrepreneur Walt Disney said, "Around here, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." Whether right out of high school or coming from another career, it's curiosity that has led you here. And our time at George Brown College has helped us embrace those curious natures, made us want to ask questions, and inspired us to learn. Learning is what keeps us growing both in our new fields and as individuals. Down the road, we will be the designers, the makers, the actors, the dancers, the managers, and the teachers. Whatever your future, don't stop learning. Stay curious, because you never know what path it will lead you to. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. We have now reached the formal part of our ceremony where we award the credentials, the diplomas and certificates, and these become official documents of the college. I invite Chancellor Sally Horsfall-Eaton to come forward. Would the candidates please stand? That's you. Madam Chancellor, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates assembled here today have qualified in all respects for their credentials by successfully completing curricula offered by the Center for Arts and Design at George Brown College. Faculty members have recommended that they be awarded their credentials in recognition of their academic accomplishments.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Directors of Governors of George Brown College, I do hereby confer on you your respective diplomas and certificates with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the candidates not present, I request that you confer their credentials in absentia.
I so do, and congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next part of the ceremony, we will be presenting the candidates individually to Chancellor Sally Horsfall-Eaton and President Ann Sado. To show our respect for each candidate, we ask that you remain in your seats until the last candidate has received his or her credential. We also ask that you withhold your applause, difficult as that is to do, until all the candidates from each program have been presented. Candidates, as you make your way across the stage, please follow the printed footsteps on the floor. Upon receiving your credential, we ask that you return to your seats and enjoy the rest of the convocation program. Madam Chancellor, Madam President, I wish to present the candidates from the Center for Arts and Design so that you may confer their credentials. I ask our announcer to come to the podium now. Patrick Kwok-Chun is a graduate of the George Brown College Theatre School.
Madam Chancellor, Madam President, I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Center for Arts and Design, School of Design, the Graphic Design Program. Mali Adabi, with honors. Shabnam Bani Hashemi. Zaneb Batul. Lauren Patricia Black. Eric Thomas Bratsberg. Joshua Ian Brinksman, with honors. Joel William Brown. Tien Bui. Li King Chen. Joshua Choi. Linda Chu. Benjamin Coles, with honors. Nathaniel Emmanuel Cook. Taylor Korstorfin. Edgard Qualo. Jillian de las Alas. Anselmo Lorenzo, with honors. Elena DeLong. Nuisha Derakshan, with honors. Fabian de Corsia. Parham Didevar, with honors. Barbara Foster Linton, with honors. Daria Gavrilina. Faisal Gondor. Heather Elizabeth Glumek. Sarah Gonzalez, with honors. Alan Marshall Hum. Eddie Huyn. Cornelius Isbinski. Mi-jin Kim. Ha-sun Lee. Elizabeth Layton. Ridge Julian Levine. Dario Lutic. Letitia Lusigi Clark. Gailey Liu. Sarah Elizabeth McCollisang. Christopher McPherson. Andres Felipe Marulanda. Elizabeth Maria Matos. Sarah Ashley May. Michael McCollum. Christian Bunning Mendoza, with honors. Devin Lee Millard. Sarah Miner, with honors. Sheriel Sison Mordido. Gerdin Lou Moreno. Neda Moslehi, with honors. Adrian Pantia. Horatio Pantia. Melissa Denise Pasqua. Catalina Pantino. Rebecca Ann Power. Elcida Regepi. Megan Alexandra Roininen. Sandra Saad. Georges Sarkis, with honors. Marco Shriripa. Harley Asia Shaw. Rebecca Leah Stokel. Zheng Wang. Men Ying Zhu. Ernest Yung. Wei Lin Zhang, with honors. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Art and Design Foundation program. Nicole Amanda Birdsick, with honors. Gabriel Biber. Shannon Bazor. Bradley Morrow Michael Sie. Deanna Michelle Kolomvakos. Yelena Svetkovic. Catalina Raluca Dima. Benjamin Angus Emeny. Gerald Gutierrez, with honors. Bronwyn Morrow. Selena Revorido, with honors. Lisa Marie Russell, with honors. Ashley Olivia Chonhing, with honors. Yesenia Carolina Tapia Diaz. Nawe Watanabe, with honors. Miriam Zeraimajin, with honors. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Game Development Program. Jonathan Jerome Batt, with honors. Mark Francis Baudre. Anthony Gordon Brand. Jeffrey Chapin. Gordon Chow. Graham Shane Cunningham. Zachary Diaz. Erica Fantinich. Marco Hadzi Nikolov. Wilson Siu Fong Ho. Reni Jayasakera. Daniel Okhun Kim with honors. Kimil Patrick Lin. Andrew Curtis Nolan. Nathaniel George Patterson. Cindy Perez Camaraza with honors. Kelvin Troy Putt. Tori Joseph Macalorum. Ashley Nicole Merla. Theodore Mills with honors. Nikhil Rath. Martin Simov. Jade Mitchell Simpson. Emily Faith Slaughter. David Sushi. Matthew W. Swanton with honors and Dean's Medal winner. Benjamin Torfey. Patrick Michael Wilson Torfey with honors. Ricky Tran. Don Zacharias Verdillo. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Design Management Program. Diana Carolina Cardoso Arias. Alejandro Cortez Lefranc with honors. Dan Ying Gao with honors and Dean's Medal winner. Anu Mande. Samar Naik. Lulu Kian. Rashi Sahota. Alicia Simon. Tim Adams. Oh, pardon me. Thank you. Hold on a second. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Digital Design Advanced Digital Design Program. Tim Adams. Sudeep Kumar with honors. Sean Ross Card from the Game Development Program. Svetlana Yagodina. Suhela Kapoor with honors and Dean's Medal winner. Rohit Kawade with honors. Hillary Kitts. Yulia Kotstyuk with honors. Becky Long. Stephen Lucier. Aaron Chiron Patterson. Hector Sanchez Harris with honors. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Digital Design Game Design program. David Freeman Henry, with honors. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Fashion Management program. Anna Aziza Ali, with honors. Caitlin Elizabeth Arts, with honors. Shahan Asadurian. Baravi Balasingham. April Balsome. Patricia Grace Baroga, with honors. Christian Duran Bikibel. Shayna Brenman. Cassandra Caravaggio, with honors. Karina Sharvat. Hazel Hay Tung Chan. Amanda Chowdang, with honors. Jordana Ariel Chaffetz, with honors. Andrea Camille Chin. Valerie Jacinta Clark, with honors. Caitlin Como, with honors. Robin Della Roca. Tanit Christabel El Hage, with honors. Kassan Nija Emery, with honors. Rachel Ennis, with honors. Christina Galati. Daryl Galenda. Christian Ryan Gamba. Megan Marie Goulart. Anwar Gowdy. Rochelle Greco, with honors. Rebecca Kenzie Kluss. Samantha Victoria Lawson, with honors. Kelby Lelam. Patrick Lopez, with honors. Katarina Loboyko, with honors. Hansel Rico Luna, with honors. Christina Leanne Martin. Nicole Mendoza. Angela Marie Montsano. Priscilla Morales Leviant. Shannon Rose Murray. Kimberly Navarro. Anthony James Odell. Christine Pangan. Julian Policarpio. Julian Policarpio, with honors. Kayla Jasmine Rafael Lopez. Dana Salam. Lauren Richardson. Maheen Salahuddin. Nisha Sedev. Irina Steblinets with honors. Adrian Stevens with honors. Ashton Mary Dawn Stotts. Chelsea Stonehouse. Kendra Ray Sullivan. Léa Tonnet. Ursula Vivian Tawes with honors. Giovanna Shamika Trench. Hallie Trickett. Tashi Somo with honors. Brittany Tucci. Michaela Marie Venturoli with honors. Reha Verma. Amy Wallace with honors. Morgan Ashley Weintraub. Nashida Whitfield. Simona Siet with honors. Jenny Zhu with honors. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Gemology program. Victoria Grenier with honors. Simmer Singh Coker with honors and Dean's Medal winner. Gurkhan Sengul with honors. Tzu Tsi Vu with honors. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Jewelry Methods program. Hiwa Royan Barnes. Karen Besson with honors and Dean's Medal winner. Yunying Cui. Sevda Javidi Rad with honors. Hoi Yan Carol Luke. Tanya McIntyre. Catherine Thompson with honors. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Jewelry Essentials program. Elizabeth Mary McIntyre. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Fashion Business Industry program. Rachel Awuku. Rebecca Charlotte Bajarzin. Roderick Hora Casino. Wendy Cho Wong. Hacharanpreet Kaur Daliwal with honors. Shantae Dixon. Thank you. Ashley Donnelly. Lana Fantori. Chloe Elena Gardner. Rebecca Carey Gordon, with honors. Brittany Alexandra Greenglass. Fanisa Hamid. Maria Amanda Arasi. Megan Lydia Lewis, with honors. Kessia Ola Marcano. Brianne Alexa Martin. Lindsay Patricia McNabb. Sarah Nancy Morales. Laura Morayan. Marie Audrey Ostrom. Ellie Park. Chantel Smith. Vanessa Tam Griffiths. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Fashion Techniques and Design program. Ololade Awojide. Alina Barsukova. Linda Bartley, with honors. Amanda Megan Casey. Sunny Chen. Kyra Ann Janelle Costales. Amanda Ada Deemer. Jaquelia Janelle Elwood. Sarah Elizabeth Gabinet. Catherine Louisa Gagoda Camara. Larissa Gaeta, with honors. Linda Estefania Gonzalez. Kai Hong Huang. Warda Jahazi. Jody Monique Jemmett. Yulan Jin. Adelaide Kaufman. Fatima Kanabi. Christina Laundry, with honors. Michelle Lapierre. Hyun-So Lee, with honors. Mandy Leung. Alex Marcial Manahan. Teresa Mangas Ramirez. Judy Moti, with honors. Lisa Michelucci, with honors. Ashley Joanne Mifsud. Alexia Faith Panakos. Maria Sarah Pascual. Jeanette Kim Pelche. Leandra Michelle Pepper-Dawes. Shanice Samuels. Emi Sasaki. Alana Saveri. Maria Stope, with honors. Eleni Tefera, with honors. Hira Rohail. Alana Walsh. Caitlin Michelle Zanting. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Jewelry Arts program. Andre Chenier, with honors. Naomi Draper. Candice Marie Frazier. Alex Renee Kinsley. Christian Derek Oliver Sargent. Pamela Tymonson, with honors and Dean's Medal winner. Trevor Vipond. Tanessa Walters, with honors. Samantha Christie Williams. Wei Zhou. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the International Fashion Development and Management Program. Lena Artan. Birender Gill. Guinying Liu. Sharanya Nair. Ritambara Srinivasan. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Dance Performance Studies program. Jerry Burchell. Ashley Irene Campbell Geddes. Haley Rain Eady. Joanna Maisie Eisen, with honors and Dean's Award winner. Laura Elizabeth Hartman. Izumi Ishikawa. Kylie Magdalena Fudge Jensen. Dana Nicole Morrison. Julia Pochko, with honors. Anna Pogulaeva, with honors and Dean's Medal winner. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduates for their credentials from the Commercial Dance Studies program. Rena Mary Kathleen Berrio, with honors and Dean's Medal winner. Alexandra Christina Betancourt Costa, with honors. Danny Brown. Ashley Marie Haryu. Brianna Corey Morgan. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting to you the 2014 graduate for their credentials from the General Arts and Science 1 Year Introduction to Performing Arts Careers program. Darcy Weatherseed. Thank you, Madam Chancellor and Madam President.
address the graduating class. Madam President.
We're just tipping into afternoon, so good afternoon, class of 2014. I'm honored to join your families and friends in congratulating you on your graduation from George Brown College. This is a milestone I hope you'll remember with pride for the rest of your life. Take a minute now to savor the experience, because before you know it, you'll be busy working towards your next goal. That advice goes double for the parents in the audience, and I speak from experience. This time last year, I was sitting in an auditorium much like this one, watching my younger son cross the stage at his own convocation. He was home with us for just one night before heading to Calgary for a new job. One minute we were celebrating together, the next he was on a new path. Blink and you'd miss it. So savor this moment. Class of 2014, I imagine that when you enrolled at George Brown, Convocation seemed like a distant dream. Since then, you've surpassed many milestones. Your first day of class, your last exam, that aha moment when you mastered a new skill. Life is an endless stream of experiences and opportunities rushing by at top speed. You can't slow it down, but you can choose to see the potential in each moment. Celebrate your victories, both large and small. Rise to every challenge and make every minute count. Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield offered some advice on this subject during his 2013 mission to the International Space Station. He said, "Decide in your heart of hearts what really excites and challenges you, and start moving your life in that direction. Every decision you make, from what you eat to what you do with your time tonight, turns you into who you are tomorrow and the day after that." When I look back at my own career, I'm struck by how decisions that seemed inconsequential at the time have had a ripple effect. Things like introducing myself to someone new or volunteering a few hours of my time. As you prepare to begin your next journey, I'd like to share a few strategies that have helped me in my career. In fact, I'll share just a few stories from George Brown graduates who have found success in their fields. I hope these strategies might also help you, and I hope that in a few years, I'll be telling your stories. First and foremost, keep building your networks. Take advantage of the relationships that you've established with staff and faculty at George Brown and ask them for advice or introductions. Keep in touch with your classmates and support each other as you explore your new field. Surround yourself with enthusiastic supporters who know what you're interested in and what you're good at. You never know what doors these contacts could open up. Fashion techniques and design graduate João Paulo Guedes landed a job at Canada Goose thanks to a tip from a former instructor. He also kept in touch with a designer he met during his field placement in Delhi, and now they're collaborating on designs they hope to sell in Canada and India. Second, don't be afraid to take a risk or try something new, and you've already heard that advice today. These efforts won't always be successful, but as long as you learn something, you will be successful. Alvin Vigila, a graduate of our Culinary Arts Italian program, recently took a big risk by competing on the TV show Chopped Canada, and it paid off. He came in first place, taking home a cash prize and making a name for himself as an up-and-coming chef. And finally, never stop learning. I sincerely believe that education leads to opportunity. In the future, you may wish to pursue a new credential or update your professional knowledge through continuing education. Lifelong learning will help you keep your skills sharp and your brain engaged. Our doors are always open for you at George Brown. In fact, many graduates continue their relationship with the college throughout their lives, both as lifelong learners and as industry partners. In the future, you might consider joining a program advisory committee, hosting a student for a field placement, hiring a graduate, or supporting the George Brown College Foundation. In the meantime, I encourage you to take advantage of the support services available to you as a George Brown alumnus. Make sure you update your contact information at our Alumni Relations Office so you can access all of their services. Class of 2014, today you join a long legacy of distinguished George Brown alumni. They are key business leaders, beloved community workers and nurses, top chefs, renowned performers, crucial city builders, and the list goes on. Just like those that came before you, you are a class of innovators and problem solvers, entrepreneurs, and future leaders. This auditorium is bursting with skilled graduates ready to embark on rewarding new careers, well equipped with the knowledge obtained at George Brown. Today, we formally recognize your passage from student to graduate, using age-old symbols that connect academia's past with its present. This year, we've added a traditional element to the convocation with the introduction of our ceremonial mace, which Chancellor Sally Horsfall-Eaton mentioned earlier. Its introduction has a strong historical significance for the college, recognizing our transformation and growth over the years. Yours will always be the first graduating class where the mace was part of our ceremony. And our mace is particularly special, as our Chancellor noted, because it was designed and developed by a team of George Brown faculty, staff, students, and alumni. The design incorporates many aspects of the college's identity and values. For example, the rings of Ontario medals represent a sense of industry and the applied nature of our programs. Inscribed words include values like passion, integrity, and leadership. I'd like to thank Chancellor Eaton and her husband John Craig for this wonderful gift to the college. I'd also like to thank all of the families, parents, partners, and friends in the audience for supporting our graduates as they pursued their passions at George Brown. They couldn't have done it without you, and I hope your support will be returned in kind when you need it. But most of all, I'd like to congratulate each member of the class of 2014 on your tremendous achievement. You saw the opportunity for learning at George Brown, and you refused to let that opportunity pass you by. You've put in long hours, both inside the classroom and out, working tirelessly to achieve your goal. Today, that persistence pays off. By completing your college education, you've laid an important foundation for career success. This moment isn't ending, but there are many exciting beginnings ahead. New jobs, new opportunities, and new challenges. George Brown was once unfamiliar to you, but you have succeeded here, just as you will succeed elsewhere on your career path. You have the knowledge, you have the skills, and now you have the credential. What happens next is up to you. But I hope you'll seize every moment and make the most of it. Congratulations, class of 2014.
Thank you, Anne. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the staff and faculty of George Brown College, let me congratulate not only the graduates, but also their families, friends, and our guests. Graduates, each of you here today has completed a long journey to reach this achievement. Along the way, as has been said several times, you've had the support and encouragement of people close to you. And many of your supporters are here today to celebrate with you. So, this is your opportunity to say thank you to the parent, child, brother, sister, partner, spouse, or friend who helped make this possible. They share in your achievement. So what I'd like to ask you to do is to stand up and turn around and give them a round of applause, please. And now I'd like to ask you to turn this way, okay? and join me in expressing your thanks to your faculty and the staff of your center. Great. Okay. Thank you. Can sit down. Okay. And as we're thanking people, I would also like to thank Deborah Iafredi, Associate Registrar, and the team from the Registrar's Office in organizing this event. Thank you also to Joanne Anderson, who provided real-time captioning, to Monique Ledrew and Tara Everett, our interpreters, and our announcer, Patrick Kwok-Chun. Special thanks also go to the staff and students from various college departments who volunteered their services for Convocation today. I'd also like to thank our piper, Aidan Bowen, our musicians from Lamb Chops Music, and Thunder Jack, who provided the honor song. Graduates and guests, we hope you will join us downstairs here in the Sony Center following the ceremony. We ask that you remain in the auditorium, however, until the platform party has left the stage. I now declare these graduation exercises closed. Thank you.